Good morning. Mike was whistling along.
Morning.
Oh, I forgot to have this ready. I forgot to have this up. Erin was on it. There it is, Mike. Mike and I match. Erin, you've got black accents, so we're good.
I have, yeah. I'm back to the skulls. Christmas is over.
I enjoy the skulls. I enjoy when you have the skull. Like, they're not my style, but they're cute on you. Does that make sense?
I just love it. I don't know. Look, skulls, flowers, butterfly. What more could you ask for? Mike, do you actually have coffee this morning, or is it water?
Do not say water.
This is water. I've had 2 cups of coffee already this morning.
I purposely waited to have my second cup to enjoy it with you guys and everybody in the crowd.
You know, yeah, I would have done that, except I got up at 3 this morning, so I didn't want to wait.
Who do you think you are, me?
Woo! Christy, what time did you get up?
Something.
Yeah, I slept in all the way till 4. I mean, I don't know, Mike. You beat me today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was up
it's a little bit of a problem.
6:30.
Well, Karen, there's Karens in the chat. So then I said Karen instead of Erin. To be fair, Erin, your name does rhyme with Karen.
That's true. My mother's name is Karen.
There you go. Karen and Erin. I love it.
You can't have Karen without Erin.
True. True. Wait, that's backwards. Her mother's name is Karen. Should be the other way around, Erin.
Whatever.
Anyway, what's in your cup today, Erin?
Okay, I'm trying something new and I don't know if I'm too happy about it. It's actually the second time I tried it. Started out this morning with my usual MCT and heavy cream in coffee. And now I did a little bit of that Element raspberry, that new hot flavor.
Okay.
With some more heavy cream, but I don't know how I feel about that flavor. Like, I don't know if maybe it would taste better in like hot milk or just hot water. I'm really not sure. I only put in about 1/3 to 1/2 of a packet this time. I mean, it's okay. It's just not my favorite.
So I'm not sure if I'm down with like the fruity flavor like that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like in coffee, I got a sample pack from Element with the mint, the chocolate raspberry, which you have, and I don't know, one other flavor. And I thought, I didn't put it in today because I was like, I don't know about that raspberry in my coffee. I mean, I could try it because I have a free one.
It's just different. I'm just not used to it. Like, I love their chocolate caramel, and the chocolate mint I think is fantastic too. Chocolate is okay, but this one I don't know. And I'm a big fan of Element, but I don't know about this.
I'm looking forward to giving the chocolate mint a try because I know you've been talking about it, Erin.
It's good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I think any Element customer got that same sample pack on their chocolate variety. And I couldn't stand the chocolate chai. The chocolate mint was great. Raspberry was great, but I did put it in my coffee, so it was maybe not the best for coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Element's got some great flavors, and I haven't tried salty yet. So
no,
me neither.
Yeah, that has some other stuff in it that I stay away from, so I'm gonna probably stick with my Element.
So Twin Maples is saying hello, and they are having coffee with Element chocolate, caramel, and butter. So that sounds like butter caramel. Like what?
Good.
I think I need to try that immediately. And I don't even usually do butter in my coffee, but I think with that chocolate caramel and the butter,
Did you ever do butter in your coffee before?
I tried it once and didn't like it.
I used to do the butter and the coconut oil. Yeah, I think it's an acquired taste, the butter. And then once you get used to it, it's like this good, rich, creamy.
Yeah. I'm thinking with that with the caramel, it might be pretty darn good.
Yeah, that does sound good, like buttery caramel.
So
Give that a try.
I'm excited to tell you what's in my cup, Erin, because it's all your fault. I mean, it's all thanks to you. That's what I meant to say.
I have an idea, but I'll let you go instead.
So yeah, this is the decaf coffee that you recommended from Pete's.
And you like it?
I do like it. It's a little darker than my normal, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But you are right. It sort of reminds me a little bit of a Starbucks, but like better.
And it tastes like real coffee. You don't know it's decaf.
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
Yes.
And the Swiss water decaf, whatever. I got to research that. But you said it and I believed you, coach in training. I believed you.
They just flush in training water to remove the caffeine. That's basically it. It's some patented process, but either way.
Yeah. So and then I have my Element chocolate salt. So I've cut back my caffeine consumption quite a bit. Because as I've always said, I just like the coffee experience. It's not necessarily all about the caffeine, but like the amount of caffeine I was doing was probably not good for me.
And you never know, right? How much is in there?
I don't know. So I switched to this for like, I still do a regular first thing, and then I'll just switch to this and sip on this throughout the day, and it's delicious. So thank you.
That's really good.
Go and get some more.
That's really good. Yeah. And people who love Pete's swear by Pete's, and they love it. And so that's their branded choice, and they tend to stick with it. And
I had never tried it before.
I've tried it before. I do like it.
It's expensive though. That's the only thing. I can certainly get other brands of coffee for cheaper. but it's good.
I feel like any K-cup, which let's be real, I'm gonna do K-cup because I'm lazy. And any K-cup is pretty much going to be expensive. So I just didn't let that deter me. The same way a ribeye is a little more expensive. And what did I have for breakfast this morning? That was a ribeye. At 6:30 a.m. Oh my energy, do not judge me. I needed energy. Do not judge me at all. I'm going to the grass-fed beef ranch today, you guys.
That's so awesome.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah. So after
the story you did on your pasture-raised chicken ranch near you was amazing and super informative. I mean, there were some things in there I'd never heard before, and you answered some questions from the community. It was just great. So you're giving the grass-fed beef ranch the same treatment?
Yes, absolutely. I know my chicken egg video needs more views. It's kind of sad. I went all the way over there and I'm like, this was a great interview. I mean, the chickens had a lot to say because I didn't have my microphones yet. And it was hilarious in my opinion. I think it might put some people off.
Thought so.
You could totally hear us talking. You could totally hear us. Not my fault. Microphones aren't cheap. Anyways, I have microphones now. These little guys. And yes, I will be taking them with me. And I am going to go. They are very nervous about the whole thing, especially the parents of the, the parents are still around. And I guess they've had some problems with PETA, like coming to their gate and harassing them.
You said this. Yeah.
So what's funny to me about that though, is that they have a small website, like you can't order online, but like they have a website that tells you what they have. And then you have to like text them or email them to order. Like their address is there on the internet for everyone to see. So I'm like, I mean, they're gonna you want and yes, the lady that I'm interviewing, she understands. She's like, I understand. It's my parents are a little nervous, so we're not going to be going like on the property. But we'll be in front of the property. Today is a pickup day for meat, and I will be picking up my grass-fed, grass-finished steak lovers box. So nice. I'm very excited to see what's in there.
Very nice. Hopefully,
is there a certain cut that you like in there?
I don't know what's in there, Mike Shaw TV. It's a surprise.
Oh man, it could be anything.
It could be any.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know either. We're gonna find out for 100, and I don't even know how much money. $100.
But did you eat your bear meat yet?
No, because every time I think about the bear meat, I go cook a ribeye, Erin. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Just throw it in a crock pot and call it a day.
I need to just crock pot that up and just do it.
Where did you get the bear?
The bear came from my nephew because apparently he's like a hunting savant. He went on his first hunting trip, and he's a 6th grader. He went on his first hunting trip with like his uncle, Not my other brother, but like his uncle from his mom's side of the family. This is my brother's kid. So his uncle from his mom's side of the family, first hunting trip. It was a big group of guys, but anyway, he was like the good luck charm or something. So they got a bear that day. So I have some of that. They got a boar that day. What was the other thing? I don't know. One more thing.
Had to start with a B.
It does start with a B, and I can't think of what it is. Anyways,
They
got all the bee animals. A buck. I knew I'd think of it. A bear, a boar, and a buck. And I have some of the buck, and I have some of the bear in my freezer.
And none of the boar?
No, I didn't get any boar. So I just need to eat it. But I haven't yet. I need to do it. I just need to do it.
It sounds like a bad joke. So a bear and a boar and a buck walk into a bar.
Walk into a forest.
Of course.
Walk into a forest, and now they're in my freezer. End of joke.
And now they're in the freezer. Yes.
Oh, too funny.
Oh my gosh.
B&E.
B&E. That'll be the title of my video when I eat the my sister-in-law did send me pictures and say that I could put them into the video, like of my nephew with these.
That's awesome.
Because
I'm picturing this little kid with a giant bear over his shoulders.
Yeah, well, no, but you could see
dragging it out of the woods.
Like you could see the bear when it was still alive. Like walking, before they got her. I don't know.
That's crazy.
How does the state of California feel when you shoot one of its mascots?
Right. It was all legal. I'll say that.
Oh.
So Twin Maples, you know what? It's ground meat. I guess that bear was pretty lean, which is weird because they hunted it like back in fall. I think you would think it'd be nice and fat, getting ready to go hibernate.
Yeah.
But it was pretty lean one. So it's ground bear. So it's not like a bear steak. So I didn't get the choice of like how it was processed. It was a pound of 2 pounds of like free meat. I didn't get a say in how it was processed. So yeah. Anyway,
Don't look a gift bear in the mouth.
Exactly, or a gift buck apparently.
Or a boar.
Just don't look a bear in the mouth. At all.
So I'm kind of going off a topic here, but there was one time where the teachers here were at odds with the school district. Go figure, they didn't want to pay us. Anyways, and they told us that we went to the board meeting, and one of the board members posted a public post online that the teachers were boars, but he spelled it like the animal. B-O-A-R. I think he meant B-O-R-E, but he spelled it.
Are you sure?
I'm like, really? And you're a school board member? I mean, it was hilarious on a lot of levels.
Gosh.
It would have been more hilarious had it been Carnivore then. This was a few years ago. That person is no longer a board member in our school district.
That's funny.
Well, yeah. I could see running against that person, and that's all you need in your campaign.
All you need. Ousted.
You're supposed to be leading. You're supposed to be a leader in education.
Yes.
Missed the mark on that one.
Just by a hair.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
An H-A-R-E hair. Sorry. Okay, I'll stop.
Okay.
Thank you, Charlie.
Well, I used to cover the school board back in the day, and I always, when you do a story, you slug it. You just name it, and so I always put BORED board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was trying to be funny
because it is.
Yeah.
No offense.
Because it is funny, like Darth.
Bad.
Thank you, Darth.
Yay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So much fun.
So other than coffee, what do you two got going on? Like, one of you want to speak on your I feel like I haven't spoken to you since a month ago.
We haven't. This is like catch-up time.
It is.
Hey, we're all still here. Yay.
Yay.
So how's it going with we'll start with Mike. How's it going with you, Mike?
Yeah. So first of all, my internet's in and out. So there's a delay, and then it catches up, and then there's a delay. So I apologize for that. It's living in rural parts of America. So now, first of all, I haven't been around much, and I do apologize, everyone. Usually I'm in chat cutting up and stuff. And I've just been extremely busy for the last 3-4 weeks. We had an event at my church that was put on by the nonprofit that I now volunteer for. We're trying to raise money, but we put on an event, And so I had a lot to do behind the scenes. I also had to prepare my portion. I spoke on Saturday morning. And then plus at the same time, I was redoing our website. So it was just slammed. And then on top of that, I had some political stuff going on here with our local GOP that I'm active in. And I just got elected co-chair, by the way. So that's fun. And then what else have I got? Oh, plus my regular job driving the van for the kids. And so I haven't been around much. And so I really do apologize for that. I've been around a little more lately. And thankfully, Christy set up this second Saturdays thing. And so so here we are. So that's good. And the other thing I added, this is my fault, but I added a new YouTube channel that I started on January 1st, which is my weather channel at the Weather Mic. And in fact, I just updated the forecast this morning before I came on here. So I've been super busy. Now here's, we can get into this later, but I'll just tee it up now. I've been very frustrated with my carnivore journey in this sense. My 6-month anniversary is coming up in 3 days. So I've been carnivore for 6 months in 3 days. And I lost 15 pounds pretty much the first 6 weeks. And I have not lost anything since. Now, my labs were good, as we've gone over that many times. And that's probably the most popular carnivore video on my channel is the labs video. So that part I'm encouraged about. But I just can't seem to lose weight. Now, part of that may be that, I need to add in some fasted cardio in the morning, that sort of thing. So I do need to do that. But I was watching Nutrition with Judy yesterday. And she was talking about, everybody's different. And sometimes, it's okay to talk about these things. Sometimes people don't. The advice is always get stricter, get stricter, get stricter. And that's not always the answer. And so she has a lot of nuanced content on her channel. And so, I may be a little bit different at this age. I lost a good 40 pounds OMAD, one steak a day 5 years ago. But obviously something's changed. It's not working for me this time. So here's what I'm thinking, and I'm going to run this by coach and training Erin to see what she thinks. Is I was thinking of maybe adding in fruit every day, which will get me kicked out of the carnivore club. I understand.
You just glitched when you said that. What was it? No, I'm serious.
I was thinking of adding in. I know. It's the timing's amazing.
Cut out,
I'm thinking of adding fruit.
Okay.
Yeah. So like avocados, apples, watermelon, kiwi, like real fruit, like maybe 100, 150 grams a day. And to see if that gets my metabolism jump started, because something isn't right. I've been trying to eat more. That I feel better and I sleep better doing that, but the weight loss hasn't kicked in. So I just wanted to run that by Erin and then, get yelled at in the comments, which is fine. But that's what I'm thinking, just because I feel like I have to try something different.
I have a couple different thoughts on that. So my first thing was, and I think everybody's pretty much aware of this a lot of times, and I don't know where you were beforehand, Mike. Were you keto before? Did you go from like eating a lot of carbs straight into carnivore, or what was the situation?
So I went keto to carnivore, and then I've been pretty much carnivore for 6 months, a little bit of ketovore if you count the keto chow stuff, and a very rare avocado months ago, but I haven't had an avocado in months. So.
And you lost that weight when you were keto too, or once you went carnivore? Is what I'm trying to get.
Once I went carnivore. So, right. Well, so this time around I was eating sad, and then I just went straight to carnivore because I had done carnivore 2-3 other times, and I've done keto 2 or 3 other times. And so I knew what to expect. So I just jumped straight in this time.
So, I mean, obviously, you know that initially a lot of that weight loss when you cut out carbs is going to be water weight. Everybody's going to get that big flush. And sometimes when you hear people go, oh, I did low carb, like it's a miracle, but they're not realizing that they're not holding onto the water. They're just flushing it all out. I just had this conversation this morning with my husband when he went low carb and it was happening to him. My other thing, and I know that people are not going to like to hear this, but it's what's worked for me and what I've also learned through my training so far is to actually, are you keeping track of your weight? Like how often are you weighing?
I used to weigh every day.
Mhm.
Now I'm weighing once a month. So I
Okay.
weighed February 1st was the last time.
So a lot of times I see it with myself and I hear it with the ladies that are in my groups and everything too. Is that if you weigh more frequently and try to keep an average of that, you may see that you are in fact dropping weight without you realizing it, even though it might be slow. You know, there may be a downward trend that you don't realize is happening because maybe on that one day a month when you're weighing, things went wonky the day before or whatever, and you're retaining water or whatever. So that would be my first thing would be to weigh more frequently, make sure you are in fact not losing weight. Um, the other thing and another thing that people don't want to hear usually is try to keep track of what you're actually eating. You probably knew I was going to say that to see where you're at. Like, are you eating less than you think you are? Are you eating more than you think you are? All of that. Um, and you know, maybe you're not eating enough. Maybe there are so many things like Judy said to you, there are so many things. It's so individualized. But
Right.
keep track of that, check that sort of thing. And then, you know, maybe instead of the fasting, maybe it sounds weird, but maybe add in another meal to try to kind of jumpstart that metabolism too. You know, instead of doing the fasting all the time. I also
Mhm.
found that when I had to add in another meal, the weight loss kind of, you know, started going again. Um, so just some ideas. I don't know if that helps you at all or answers your questions, but if you have some actual data to go on, you might kind of be able to figure out. And the thing with the adding the carbs and everything, you could try that because you're adding more energy in there to, you know, again, maybe like get things moving, but also be aware that you're probably going to gain a little bit of at least water weight when you're adding that. So I would not go to that many carbs all at once, if that makes sense. Maybe start,
Yeah.
you know, with just a little bit, maybe one piece of fruit today or something that's not fruit, but is, you know, a carb, like some avocado, like you said, or something like that, some berries, because they're lower sugar than like other fruits. So just some ideas in my limited scope of training so far.
Well, coach in training. I appreciate all of that. And I think there's some wisdom there in I don't really write down what I eat. I know what I eat, but do I really, right? So that's what you're saying. If you're not tracking,
Yeah,
you think but you don't
yeah,
really know till you write it down. So I think that's a really good idea. I did add in a second meal and sometimes even a third meal so that I could eat more. Todd, the carnivore cure, and Lindy, and Michael, they were encouraging me to eat more because they find that people, vastly undereat. And so I've
yeah,
been trying that. And like I said, I did feel better after that. Now, Bruce was asking, how much have you been fasting? Um, so, this is kind of my version of priming, I guess. I haven't added a fast after that. So
okay.
maybe I need to try that lever before I, buy a bunch of kiwis.
One other thing too, and you mentioned doing cardio, but a
Mhm.
lot of times doing more weight training will help better than the cardio because the cardio is you know, just your walking is going to burn fat more efficiently than like if you go out and start like running like miles and miles and miles. Do you know what I mean?
I
So
do.
definitely adding on any muscle you can, just and I don't know what you're doing at this point. I know you were doing some stuff in the past. Could
Nothing.
certainly help. And then, you know, of
Mhm.
course, make sure you're getting your protein and all of that. Christy knows all about that. Recently we've talked about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could
All of
talk
that
about
stuff.
my progress in a minute, but it's
Yeah,
Mike's turn right now. But
need to
yeah,
hear.
oh, do I know all about that? Yeah, 100%.
So Yeah, but there's
So
so much you can do to jumpstart that. You just got to kind of play around with it, get some data, and see where you're at. And I think, you might be surprised by the information you collect when you really start to dig in there.
So then,
Okay.
Mike,
Well,
you're
maybe
not getting.
before I bail on, see the delay. I hate it.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
It's okay.
Yeah. So maybe before I bail on my carnivore friends, I'll try a couple levers first.
You are not getting attacked, Mike, at all. People just have some
No.
questions for you or concerns. So Twin Maples is saying, Mike, wondering if you should be doing a blood sugar check when you add the fruit, understanding I was a type 2 diabetic. So that's reasonable.
That's a good
I've
That's
also heard
wisdom.
some bad things about fructose and pancreatic cancer and things like that.
I mean, you don't want to have too much fructose because your body can only process a certain amount of that. So you do have to be careful, but you would need to have about, I think it's 50 grams a day. So even if you had like 4, not that you're going to have 4 apples, but you would need like that much plus to hit that level. I just read that the other day, the limit on that. So, but yeah, too much, not good for anybody, I would say. Yeah.
So an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Not
4
10 of
apples
them.
a day pays for his vacation.
Probably not good. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then
No,
Ellie
that's
is
good.
suggesting maybe try Carnivore. You might enjoy it more.
So that's really interesting too. I've been doing a little ketovore with the keto chow, which I'm out of right now. So, and I'm not buying any right now, but I could add in some. I don't know if I want to do salads, but like maybe dill pickles, things like that. I love dill pickles.
You
I
just
could have dill pickle
mentioned
spears.
just mentioning the keto challenge. Just one more thing about that, because I've been doing a
Yeah.
lot of content with this recently. It's also be careful with the processed foods, because our bodies do process them differently. So you might want to switch out that, or
Right.
I don't know how much you're doing a day, but maybe switch out one of those keto chows, or if you're doing like more than one, with like the same amount of food, if that makes sense. Like whole foods
Mhm.
versus the shake or whatever you're doing with that keto chow.
Right. Yeah.
So
So when I do have it, I have one shake, and what is that? 500 calories. When you add
So
in
that's almost
some,
like a meal replacement then at that point. Yeah.
it's
Yes,
supposed to
it is.
be.
It's
Right.
supposed to be a
Right.
meal replacement. Yes.
So,
Right.
so yeah, as crazy as it sounds, if you ate 500 calories of like steak or whatever, your body would expend more energy to,
Yeah.
process and digest that steak. So it's essentially you're burning more calories, if you will, not to throw around calories, with the steak versus the keto chow. So
Right.
that's
And that's
how
my
it's
other sadness is, I haven't been able to afford steak in a long time, and I love it, but I just haven't been able to swing it right now. Now things are I'm sowing a lot of good seed. So, I'm going to be rich someday, so don't feel sorry for me, but today is not that day. So, I'm trying to think what I can afford to add in. I found some 73.27 beef. It's like $9 for 3 pounds. So,
Yeah, I was going to
Nice.
suggest
I've been,
ground beef, probably. Yeah.
yep, that's what I've been
Or,
eating. And then
or
that's
dark meat
even more
chicken.
affordable. So I've been eating that more even.
Do you like chicken? I mean, I know we're kind of mixed in about chicken here, but you could get like legs and like dark meat chicken for relatively inexpensive too, for
So I
sure.
have a really good recipe for chicken thighs.
So
So I have a big Pyrex pan. I rinse off those chicken thighs, cover them with seasoned salt,
yeah,
and pop them in the oven. Even add some garlic. I haven't done that in a while, but maybe add some garlic. And it is very good.
it's good.
So, and I did that.
It is good.
I made that a month ago. So yeah, I could do
Yeah.
more of that. Because you're right. It's like $3
You
a
can get
pound,
that
if
so
that.
cheap, like even the drumsticks or whatever.
Or the leg quarters with like the
Mhm.
leg and the thigh
Yeah.
together. Those are usually go on sale.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ellie would like to know, Mike, if you're keeping track of inches. That's what everyone asked me too.
No.
It's another
Nope.
thing.
Apparently I'm still 5'5". Hasn't
I
changed.
don't think that's what she meant, Mike.
Oh,
Come on,
yeah.
Mike.
You mean like my biceps and my gut and my thighs, right? No, I have
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
I have not. My pants fit better than they did, but you know, like every other guy, you know, I pull my pants up and then have the overhang, right? So I don't, you know, guys aren't like chicks. We don't pull our pants up to our belly buttons. If I did, I'd be wearing 44s probably. But instead I'm wearing 36s, which are loose, but 34s don't quite fit. So I'm right in there. And you know, I 4 or 5 years ago, when I lost the weight on OMAD, or actually one steak a day. So what would that be? OSAD? Anyway, I actually got down to size 32s on the jeans, and I still have them standing by for when I get there again.
One steak a day.
One steak a day. It's my motto.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
Charlie says, I cut out dairy and added more fat after a 2-month stall, and my body has responded by dropping weight finally. Mike, do you do much dairy? I've kind of cut out a lot of the dairy.
So I did not do dairy for a long time. And then when I got the keto chow, I started buying heavy cream to mix with the keto chow, and I was putting it in my coffee. And then I haven't bought heavy cream it's been a week or two. So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I got rid of the heavy cream out of my coffee, and the only dairy, I mean, if you want to count butter as dairy, like that's the only dairy I do. I do eat quite a bit of butter. The heavy cream was the last thing, but now that my son is kind of gone, I mean, I don't know what you want to call it, ketovore, carnivore, whatever you want to call it, but he does. I mean, I didn't cut his dairy. That boy's like thin, like, and he enjoys dairy. So I don't think it's a problem. He's 15, all of that stuff, you know. I'm not just going to be like, you're eating only meat, kid. You know, I don't think he'd succeed that way. So he still has cheese and stuff.
You know?
Yeah. So, and milk, whole milk. Not raw whole milk, because oh my gosh, you guys, $24 a gallon for raw whole milk. Yeah, no, can't do it. Talk about not affording things around here. But I will say I've been trying to get some like low carb, you know, ice cream that I've made for him, and it just keeps making butter, and I'm having all these fails. And so I have been kind of testing. We're not talking eating a bowl of it, but it's like I'll take a taste of it, you know, to see what the texture is like and all of that stuff. So that's kind of been, you know, in that sense. But we got some ice cream last night that kind of worked. I did have to add milk into it. I'm wondering if you does anyone on here have a Ninja Creamy? Because it's that dang Ninja Creamy that keeps making butter out of like the Dr. Kilt's ice cream. It'll just make butter out of it because it's heavy cream and eggs. So I did get a successful, almost not butter, but I had to put in like half milk and half heavy cream. And it's still, I mean, it was better. Like it was edible at least. And I don't mean good tasting butter that you could use.
Is it tasty butter?
No, this weird powdery butter. And when you leave it on the counter, it doesn't melt. So you know it's butter, but it's disgusting and it has a weird texture.
Yeah.
And so I thrown away. I've spent, because I'm buying him the good heavy cream with like no carrageenan in and everything. So I've thrown out probably, I don't know, $25, $30 worth of butter.
Wow.
Anyway.
That's terrible.
I know.
They're starving kids in Temecula.
Right? Just down the road from me, dang it. Yeah, that was bad. But anyway, so last night we got something that was edible. It was edible. It was better. I'm wondering if instead of adding the milk, if I did half heavy cream and half water, it would stop it from becoming butter, and it would, like, you know, because the Ninja Creamy, it, like, if you know what that is, it just like creamifies everything. But the problem is with with all heavy cream, it's just trying to turn it into butter, and it's not edible or good or anything. Yeah, it's been kind of
funny.
I should have just bought a regular ice cream maker. I had to get fancy, and it's not working.
You've seen Neely and others make the keto ice cream with the keto chow.
Yes, I have. And of course, Cindy DeMash says make keto chow.
Right. Why are you avoiding that? Is there a reason? Because especially your son, you know, he's young, he's metabolically pretty healthy. And,
right.
And, you know, when I was his age, I was drinking a gallon of milk a day.
Yeah,
so
he's good with milk. I just switched him from 2% to whole milk, and I'm totally fine with him doing that. But really, Mike, I thought the keto chow might end up being more expensive, but like at the rate I'm going through this heavy cream and it's not working, I'm like, okay, well, I know keto chow works in the creamy because like 2 Crazy Ketos, like all those people do that. So yes, I mentioned it to him. I just have to be careful because my other son is allergic to peanuts. So I'm not sure. I know they have peanut flavors like peanut butter or whatever, and I don't know if their stuff is made in a separate. I imagine it might be made in the same facility.
It might
and
be because a
then,
lot of people have that concern. So
yeah. So then I've got to be careful.
Have you talked to Chris about that? Because when they do their lives, he is so good about going through the comments.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
need to
you'd
get
be
on
able
a
to get that
live.
question in.
Yeah,
You
I need to
do.
get on one of their when do they go? When do they do their lives? Like when is that live usually happening?
Monday night, I think, and
Okay.
Tuesday morning for you, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to hop in one of those and see, because I know Chris is, I mean, he's answered me in other things, not on one of his, he's like moderators, other places, and he'll definitely always answer if you ask.
He and his wife are hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them together a couple times.
They do such a good job representing their brand. Yeah.
So, Bubbles is saying, I didn't ever want to track for 5 years, but did for 3 months, and weight loss happened.
Do you know who Bubbles is?
No, who's
so
Bubbles
is Karen. She's one of Coach Nat's girls in the program with me.
Oh,
so
okay.
Obviously it's all about the tracking, and so she can vouch for the tracking for sure.
Yeah.
Being a member of that group.
Well, I know that's been successful for you, Erin. You're looking great.
Thank you. No,
okay.
It really helps to know what you're actually doing. It really does. Fasting.
So Karen is asking, how does everyone feel about fasting? I hear different people say yes, fast. Some say too hard on the body. I do believe, Dr. Jason Fung, that I do believe that it has benefits, but at the same time, every time I try to do it, I feel sick, dizzy, weak. My body isn't ready, so I'm not doing it now. I'm just, my body's giving me very clear signals. Maybe someday when my body is nourished enough or something, I don't know what it is. But every time I try to do that, I don't know if my body's like, no, she's restricting again and freaking out. It's not a good situation. I get headaches. If I go more than, 20 hours, it starts getting to where I'm getting pretty miserable. How about you guys?
Well,
I say listen to your body, unless your body is saying Reese's peanut butter cups. But and then, I mean, I used to like to fast. I think my record is 50 hours.
Ooh.
And it wasn't that hard. Once you're fat adapted and and I was doing OMAD at the time, so it was fairly easy to skip a day. But I haven't done it lately. So maybe that's the way to kickstart this thing. Oh, I thought it was my delay. Erin's mouth was moving.
No, Erin's talking to somebody else. I know. She's talking to somebody else. Let me guess. It's her daughter.
Sorry. Our new phone that the insurance replaced isn't working. So we're having issues.
Oh, okay.
But regarding the fasting, I've never done extended fasting, but I did 16-8 for a long time. And it wasn't until I did join Coach Nat's group that she kind of said, you got to lay off that because you need that extra meal for the more nutrition and whatnot. But I don't know enough to explain why, but I know enough that there's a lot of question as to whether or not this is good for women. Like apparently it works a lot better with men. There's a lot that goes in with the hormones, especially the early morning hormones and whatnot, that could change how women are able to handle it and whether or not it's good for them. And I've even seen things to suggest that for women, kind of do a reverse fast where you're eating where your window starts in the morning, but you're cutting it out like later in the day, if that makes sense. So maybe like you'll stop eating at 4 p.m. and your fast will just start earlier so that it kind of aligns with the hormones. That's another thing that I've seen some people put out there, but I think it depends on the individual overall.
Yeah, Dr. Boz advocates for that as one of her, she has her whole keto continuum thing. And, she talks about shrinking the eating window first, but then, like you said, Erin, moving it earlier in the day. Hence my ribeye for breakfast. I ate a lot yesterday. I've just decided I'm going to listen to my body and do it because this weight gain isn't stopping. And no matter what I can either feel miserable about it or feel satiated and happy. So I did eat a lot yesterday, but it was so nice because I ate a early breakfast, and then at 1 o'clock I had lunch, but then I wasn't thinking about food the rest of the day. It was like, oh, there it is. Like, there it is. I was perfectly happy. Dinner time. Like, I didn't want any food. But I ate like 1.75 pounds of beef yesterday to get to that point. Like, I had 1 pound of beef for breakfast and 3/4 pound of beef for lunch with some butter at lunchtime. Yum. But then the whole rest of the day I was like, okay, because I've been like trying to track. I mean, I still wrote it all down. It was a lot. It was a lot that I wrote down yesterday, you guys. But it was the first day that I felt like at least my body felt satiated and happy and not wanting stuff all freaking day long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
well, you've put on so much muscle, I think.
I hope so. I can see a difference in my butt. Erin, can you see a difference in your butt? I can see a difference in my butt. It makes me happy.
I can, but I have to say the butt was one of the last things to catch up. It happened in the arms first, and I'm like, come on, come on,
butt. Get it together. I mean, I'm not saying it's smaller,
you're getting sprinter's butt.
Higher. Yeah,
lots of squats.
I sprinted today. Today was leg
sprinter's
day.
Butt.
Leg day and sprints.
Yeah.
Good day.
Sprinter's butt.
So,
yep.
You know,
so like I've said 1,000,000 times, 100 years ago, I was pretty dang fast. and I was a sprinter in high school. So, I kind of miss those days. Yeah.
So Bruce about fasting is saying that he said his target weight now, but when I was trying to lose, it seemed that fasting often broke my stalls. I know that's helped my mom too, but like she can fast. It's like not even a thing for her. She did a 72-hour fast in January, the longest one she's ever done. She was like, just still going, like as if it was fine. I don't know. She doesn't have that same reaction that I have over it.
I will say that when I was doing the fasting, that I definitely still had to do the electrolytes during my fast. Otherwise, like you said, I would feel like, headachy or like I was about to go down, so.
And then Charlie's saying, just did a 48-hour fast Wednesday, Thursday, and it went well. Crushed my presentations. Awesome. I had to give it work both days. Ketones were up to 3.1, which is high for me. I've never done, I don't have a ketone monitor. I've never monitored those. Either. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one, but then they switched. So you can't use the old ones. They have new strips and you have to buy the new thing. And I just haven't done it. But back in the day, I used to track both ketones and glucose. So, if I do add in fruit, I don't have a way to test that. So maybe I'll wait until I do.
Yeah. I consider doing something similar. So this happened. If you guys have seen my 6-month progress video or my blood work video, I talk about the fun times I had with my doctor. And I pretty much thought that she had just given up on me and fired me. I think I said that after several times because we never did speak over the phone. So she called me 4 times. I called her twice. We were just leaving messages. We never did speak over the phone. This was after, for those of you not aware, finding out that I'm a lean mass hyperresponder, meaning my HDL is very high. My triglycerides are very low. That ratio is 0.85, well below 1. But my LDL is up over 400. Well, she's never heard of that before, never seen that before. She, I don't know. She was very worried. She said it's the highest she's ever seen, and this diet's not good for me, and I need to go on a statin or change my diet. And I didn't say I was going to change my diet. One of the messages I left her, I said I would handle it with diet. Is what I said.
CAC.
Yeah. And then she never called me back. Like after the last message I left her, she never called me back until the other day. Like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I don't know. I got a phone call at work. It was during recess. I ignored it, but then I was like, dang it. All right. So I called back and it wasn't the actual doctor. It was like, one of her minions or whatever. Anyways. So yeah, I called back and they said, oh, it's time to get your blood work rechecked. I was like, my what, huh? Like, she never told me we're going to check you again in 3 months. I had no heads up on any of this. I was like, what blood work? What are you talking about? Oh, doctor says it's been 3 months and it's time to check your blood work. And I was like, yeah. So surprise. So 2 things went through my head. Well, I mean, I could go the Nick Norowitz route because according to his, and now again, N=1, this might not happen to me, and I wouldn't do it with Oreos, you guys, but being lean mass hyperresponders, I could do an N=1 on myself. I even messaged Erin and I was like, I could just add in like 100 grams of fruit, like 100 grams of carbs and fruit or something to like, and then watch my LDL probably just plummet like a stone. And you know, the numbers geek in me was like, I'm gonna do that.
I'll be your test dummy.
Do it with Oreos.
I'm due for blood work, and obviously since I last had it done months and months ago, like my carb intake has increased. So I'm really curious if those numbers came down.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting too, because as far as I know, your LDL was a little higher, but you're not a lean mass.
Not as high as you, no, but high enough that the doctor was like, but because everything else was good, and because I had some other testing done, she was, we'll keep an eye on it or whatever.
Right,
like she didn't,
right. Yeah, so I think in the long run, I thought I just don't want to do that because Erin said the same advice that she just said to Mike, which was you might gain some water weight. And I'm like, well, I'm already gaining other weight. I don't want to gain any more weight.
Remember too that it is only water weight.
It's only water weight. I know. I'm gonna have to buy new jeans pretty soon. Anyways, so you know, I think what I decided to do was just go against my doctor's advice and not get it checked because I didn't change my diet, so I know it's just looking the same. Like I'm still lean mass hyperresponder.
Do you think that maybe like some people it came up and now it's going to level back off and maybe it'll be lower, or have you had this result several times?
I've only ever had the result one time, but it's my understanding that when you're lean mass hyperresponder and my BMI, although I'm putting on weight, it's still like 22, or 21. I don't know. It's like under that threshold. So it's under that threshold. So I'm pretty sure as long as I don't have those glycogen stores, which is what happens to us lean mass hyperresponders, we're lean and active, which I'm more active now than I was when I had my blood work 3 months ago because I started the weightlifting 4 days a week. And I'm still sprinting. I'm now sprinting about 6 days a week, not just 3. So I'm doing all of that. So
and in the rain.
In the rain, I sprinted in the rain. That it's all Mike Shaw's fault that the rain came to my house because he made a video. I'm just kidding. El Nino.
Predicting it would.
I know.
Yeah.
It's fun to blame somebody sometimes.
No,
I know.
But that's dedication, though. That's dedication that you didn't let the rain deter you. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it wasn't pouring rain. It was definitely misting rain and the ground was all, wet and stuff. It wasn't slippery though, because it had rained so much that it like wasn't slippery anymore. It was good. It was fun. It was nice.
Right. Yeah.
So I just kind of decided, so we'll see how long it takes now when the blood work results don't go back to her office. Like we'll see what her next move is. Because my move is I'm ignoring you. Not gonna do it.
Right. You saw Jay's comment, right?
No, let me go look
his
for it.
LDL is leveled out over time.
Jay, where's Jay?
So it sounds like you're in a similar boat he is, although I think you've got his number beat.
I missed a lot of comments, you guys. I was way up there.
There's a lot of people chatting this morning.
Yeah. I don't even know where it is.
A lot of people.
Here somewhere.
9:45.
This one?
My time.
I see this one. I'm an LMHR as well. My LDL was over 400, but has gone down over time. I get my blood work again next week. I'm curious to see how it goes. Yeah, let me know how it goes, Jay. Here's the thing. If I get it done, it's not like I'm worried about the number. I'm not, but she is. And then what?
Right.
Then what's she going to do? Put me on a statin? I mean, like, I don't have to take it, right? But I just don't really want to have that. I just don't. I'm opting out.
Can't you fire her and get someone else?
Yes, I can. Yes, and I can. And I have a couple of options that I just haven't called. And Alicia's
here. You have
that
great gynecologist out there.
Hey, Alicia.
Yes.
The one that you
Dr.
interviewed.
Salcedo. Yes, Dr. Salcedo.
Go see her.
Yeah, she's great. If you guys haven't seen that, we did a special episode of Lioness Lifestyle. It was like on a Monday instead of on a Tuesday because Dr. Salcedo, the conscious gynecologist, was agreed to. She only does like YouTube stuff on Mondays. Anyways, I mean, it was great. She is a metabolic health OBGYN based here where I am in Southern California. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yes, and she did say that she would be honored to be my doctor. I just don't know if she takes my insurance, like if where she is takes my
Yeah.
insurance. But yes, I could
Yeah.
go
Well,
there if I have
yeah.
to. Yeah.
I caught the tail end of that show. It was a lot of chick stuff, though. There was a lot of chick
It's
stuff.
an OBGYN, Mike. I don't know what you're expecting. They don't
Right.
really cater to dudes. I'm
I hear
sorry.
you. I know. I got it. Yeah. I'm just
So
happy you let dudes in the chat, so I was
we
happy.
love it when dudes come in the chat. There's quite a few of you. Bruce is there. You're there. There's, sometimes Charlie is there. It's great. Have you tried adding sweetener to a whole milk yogurt? I'm assuming he means for my son, because I wouldn't be eating yogurt. But I have not, but I think that's a great idea. He used to eat yogurt, but like the unhealthy stuff, so I could get like a whole milk yogurt and add a little sweetener to it, because I am doing, a sweetener for him, like for a dessert. So like in the evening. Erin, do you have an idea about that?
I missed the first part of this because you can see that I'm communicating to the other side of the house. Anyway, I know that you've recently tried the Equip. Have you tried adding that to the yogurt? It's delicious. It makes almost like a pudding, or
Okay.
I thought it resembled more of like a chocolate mousse, but it was really good. And then you have that little stevia sweetener in there too. Very
So
good.
he likes the Equip hot chocolate with the hot chocolate, but I do have to add, I add like a little bit more sweetener to it. It's not quite, and then I make him like a little whipped cream. He likes that. He's had that a couple times. The best thing for him with that Equip is the vanilla prime protein with to make pancakes. They look like pancakes, you guys. A ketogenic woman helped me make them not go flat. I was like, thanks, Anita. You're the best.
I need to see that because mine are always like this.
Oh yeah. Go watch
I'd like to make more of a real pancake.
Yeah. Go watch my video. They stay lifted, and it's not because of me. Anita, ketogenic woman, shout out to her. I was like, how do I get these? And he likes the crepes. Sometimes when I need to be faster, I'll do the crepes, and you can just roll them up and they're good. And I'll just, whatever's left over, I send it to lunch with them and they're good. And those are just like let's say 4 eggs, 4 ounces of cream cheese, and then a scoop of the Equip. And then you just cook those up in butter. And they're very good. Like I can't eat them because they're bingeable for me, but that'll make like 6 really good size, crepes. He'll eat 4 and then take 2, as part of his lunch. And I'll do those like if I have time in the morning. But anyway, but the pancakes, it's just a couple of more ingredients, like some beef gelatin is in there, some baking powder goes in there, but I think it's the gelatin and the baking powder that keeps them, thicker, keeps them like pancake consistency. Super good. But thank you for the idea, Twin Maples. I have not tried that. That's something I think would help.
Yeah, it sounds delicious. I'm really happy that he's decided to give it a go. And then it's really cool that you're working so hard to find stuff that he likes, but yet stay true to the plan.
Yeah.
Have you noticed improvement in his mood or anything?
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm about to do the vlog for week 2. This is the end of week 2. So I did an initial vlog. And I am not the vlog queen. I think I'm bad at it. I don't get a lot of views. I don't care. I'm doing it for me and for anyone else who is helping, like come along for the ride if you want. But I did a vlog at the beginning, like here's why we're doing this, because he doesn't just have ADHD. He also has sensory integration processing. He also has some issues with his ligaments. So if you want to know what those are, go watch that initial vlog. And then I vlogged the end of week 1. So in week 1, and if you don't live with a child with ADHD and probably ODD, which he's not diagnosed with, but I'm telling you as his mom, I'm telling you he has ODD. I just didn't want that label slapped on the boy. But at any rate, he, of his own volition, and this is a person who I would consider like borderline hoarder, okay? Would not throw anything away, would never clean anything up. You suggest things that are broken, like this thing is broken. Well, I can't throw that away, whatever. So his room was like ankle deep across the whole carpet, the whole under the bed shoved full, the closet you couldn't even hang clothes in, shoved full. He has a corner where like 2 pieces of furniture meet, and there's like a corner back there, in the corner, shoved full. It was all full. And I tried when he was littler, we would do like before Christmas, like, okay, Santa's going to bring you some new stuff. Like, we need to get rid of some of your stuff. And I mean, we would organize it. I mean, I would say I would organize it because you couldn't get him to like cooperate. I would end up doing all the work, and then he would like fight you on throwing anything away. And it was like, I stopped fighting that clean your room battle probably 8 years ago. He's 15. I stopped fighting it. I'm not going to fight it because you fight and you argue, and as the parent, you don't win, and then that's not good. Like, you're not supposed to not win when you're the parent.
Makes everybody miserable. Yeah.
Everybody's miserable, and he's still not cleaning his room. So
where did it get? Yeah, you can't win. So
we just stopped fighting that battle. So that's like the real short. That is the short version of that story. But yeah, so within the first week, he cleaned his entire room. He threw away, I don't even know, because he was doing it after I went to bed, but he threw away like trash bag, like the big trash bags that go in the big, your kitchen size trash bags. Those, I don't even know. I saw 4 of them piled up by the back door. And he was like, don't worry, Mom, when I'm done, I'll take them all out. He's like, when I'm done, I'll take them all out. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then by the morning, there was nothing there. So he took them all out. But anyway, amazing. So I don't know how many he ended up throwing away, which I could never get him to throw anything away. And then the other stuff that he didn't really know what to do with, he organized into categories and put those into bags and kind of stacked the bags in his corner, like that corner I told you about that was just a pile of like old gross things and broken things and new things and homework and whatever was in there. So that's like it's a neat stack of like these bags where it's categorized now. And then he had all this broken tech. Like a few days later, he had all this broken tech. He's been saving his money for a year. He wants to get a new computer. So all of his tech is kind of only halfway working. And because it's all old and broken and whatever. Anyways, he used his Amazon gift card that he found in one of his piles to buy some cable. Don't ask me the cable, Mike Shaw, because I don't know. He asked if it was okay. And
he got rewarded.
And he ordered some cable. Anyways, he's got this whole setup now. It's all cobbled together. So he like made a working computer out of like a half working Chromebook, a half working PC.
This kid is genius, man.
Yep.
That's amazing.
You know what he said to me? He said, normally I would have looked at all that stuff and I just would have watched YouTube on my phone instead. I wouldn't have been, I just would have said, that's a pile of junk. I don't want to deal with it. And I just wouldn't have dealt with it. I just would have went and watched YouTube on my phone. And instead of doing that, he like cobbled it all together, and now he has a working computer in his room that's like actually at his desk, which is clean. Like, who are you? I don't know who he is, but it's amazing.
So it sounds like even he's recognizing that he's getting better, that he's able to do these things now. And then that he found the Amazon card. He got a reward, which is another way to incentivize him. Just kind of a accidental incentivation.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yep. Sure, it is now.
Incentivation. Write it down.
He incentivized himself accidentally.
Yep.
I feel you on that, Christy. We've talked about this before, so you know that I face similar struggles here. And I saw how much diet affected her when she was younger, when I was still able to control that. And it was night and day. I just wish that she was more willing to do something now. I keep trying to talk, and hopefully someday she'll remember the things that I say, but it's hard when they're that age. So that's really awesome that he's going along with it and seeing the changes himself.
Yeah. That's his own environment. So he was motivated to do that. So I'm curious to see how the schoolwork goes. I kind of said that in my week 1, where it's like, I mean, he starts off turning in the first couple things. We had just started a new semester, last month after Christmas break, right? So, and then the next thing you know, he has D's and F's because he just doesn't turn in his work. And it's not that he's not capable. He's super smart, but because we've had all that testing done, his IQ is like higher than average or whatever. So I'm not saying genius, but like higher than average. And so he's just not, he's not motivated to do it. So again, he had a hard deadline of last night at midnight, what according to him was the hard deadline for, like, I don't know if it was unit 1 or whatever you want to call it. He's taking his his language requirement, his language other than English that he's taking is sign language, actually. And yesterday was like this hard deadline for, and the teacher emailed the parents twice. And it's like, of course, I talked to him about it. I know. I'm like, okay, so you have everything you need? Yes. You know, he assures me. I said, you have it all done? He said, yes. Oh, he didn't. So supposedly last night, so his grade as of yesterday, I guess probably at the end of the school day, she put everything in and his grade went down to like a 9% because he didn't have any of it done. Right, Mike? And so, but like last night, because he's like, but I have till midnight, right? This is like the ADHD. I have till midnight, right? So then he comes home from school yesterday, and I made him dinner and his little ice cream that it did work out kind of in the creamy, and he ate that. And then, I mean, I kept seeing him in there, you know, sitting at his school Chromebook. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I talked to him about it. He knew. So we're going to find out, first of all, if she accepts it, if the midnight thing was true, or if that was something he imagined in a dream somewhere. I don't know. Supposedly he was in there. When I checked in with him at like 8:30, he's like, I've turned in 3 so far. I'm like, how many do you have to do? And he just shrugged. Like, he's like, I don't know. Like, he didn't even know how many he had to do. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, we'll see if this applies, you know, to school. I don't know if it will, because he doesn't like school and he doesn't want to do school. I don't know if it'll be enough. The clarity of thought, you know, will be enough to get him to like do what he has to do. We'll find out.
So, I mean, you know more about this than I do, but I've just watched a bunch of YouTube videos, but that sounds very ADHD as far as putting things off to the last minute and having that invisible wall that you just can't break through. And it's like, it's overwhelming to you. And so it's like, I'm just going to play Minecraft. You know, so don't ask me how I know that. And then the other thing is, and you know this better than I do too, but you know, if he's brighter than average, and if he's on the upper end of that spectrum, he gets bored. You know, it's like, I'm not doing my homework. I don't need to do my homework, and I can ace the test or do well on the test. So, I mean, that may be another barrier. And, you know, I don't know if I'm sure you've already looked into this, but the talented and gifted programs for maybe, or something like that.
Yeah. We don't really have those here anymore.
Oh, wow.
That's terrible.
Some places it's like lip service to them. At my school, I don't want to say too much. They will do GATE, gifted and talent education, GATE testing. And then there's no, so you can qualify a kid. But there is no actual GATE program.
How horrible. So the smart kids, that's as much of a risk group as anything else. 100%. And I mean, these kids do get bored, and some of them end up dropping out, or, you know, they don't do their homework. So they get an A on the final and they get an incomplete or a C- on their report card. It's terrible. I'm shocked.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it is here. I mean, he's in band, percussion, you know, he's in the computer programming pathway, but those classes don't start until junior, senior year. You know, he got a D in English, which means he has to do summer school because it was advanced English and not just English to graduate English. And that was because he had A's and B's on every single thing he turned in. And then at the end, there was 2 big important essays worth a lot, and he just never did them.
Yeah.
So now he's going to be going to summer school, and that was before the diet, you know, so we'll just see. I understand he might just be last minute, and I'm under no illusions. I already have one with ADHD. He graduated by the skin of his teeth, went to a lot of summer school. Never tried diet with him. He's not into it now. We'll see if I can get him, but not yet. I just don't know what's going to happen. I just want him to graduate. Like, just got to graduate, dude. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I mean, his personally, like with that, I mean, I just couldn't even believe what I was seeing with his room and the throwing of things away and all of that. And then we went over to my in-laws' house on, I don't know what day it was, last weekend, Saturday, or I think it was Sunday last weekend. And he was like involved in the conversation. He was laughing. He was telling jokes. And that's usually he'll just go hide in his technology. So that was kind of cool, you know, to see. So very nice. It's going well. This is from a while ago, but Susan Hampton would like to know, what app for carnivore tracking does the carb Manager have a carnivore setting. I used that when I was on keto.
You know what I'm going to say,
I know what
Christy.
you're going to say. Go ahead and say it, Miss Erin.
My favorite is, why am I drawing a blank? Chronometer or chronometer. All of this stuff in that app is verified. Like it's not like MyFitnessPal where people can put stuff in and then you go in there and you go, why is there no fat grams or whatever? Like I really like that. And you could tailor your macros for whatever you're trying to do, change everything. I don't know, Christy maybe was using it. Are you still using it? Or
yeah, I'm still using it. I don't know. I heard you say that, which is why, because I was using Carb Manager. I feel like Carb Manager was a little more user friendly.
I've never used it, so I can't say. Yeah.
Chronometer has like ads, like commercials if you don't pay for it.
Yeah, I have the premium version.
Yeah,
so
I'm not going to pay for that. But Carb Manager didn't, at least when I was using it. Now it's been almost a year since I've used it.
They might. A lot of them are going towards that. Even MyFitnessPal. So
yeah. So I mean, that just might be something you got to deal with if you don't want to pay. But I will say I heard what you said, Erin, but I can see why that might be the case with like packaged things. But I feel like with meat, like there is no way, like the macros that it said for a chuck eye steak was like more calories and fat than like a ribeye steak.
Are you looking at cooked versus raw? Because they list them all.
Yeah, I've looked at all of the things. I was trying to add a chuck eye. I'm like, I can visibly look at this chuck eye and I can see that it's less fatty than the ribeye I had yesterday, but it's about to like put in like way more fat than the ribeye. So it's like, I mean, I'm doing this tracking in an effort to just see what I'm eating. And I don't know how accurate it is on things like meat, which is all I eat. Like eggs. Okay. Eggs. That's pretty,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean, it should be more accurate than anything coming out of a package for sure. Cause that stuff's just not accurate in general.
That's weird. Well, I don't know what to make of that, but I was like very, I was like a little bit, I'm like, there's just no way that it was less meat because chuck eyes are smaller, or at least the way they cut my ribeyes at my store, the chuck eyes are smaller than the ribeyes. And it was like everything was the same or a little bit more than the ribeye, which was a full pound, and the chuck eye was 2/3 of a pound. And I was like, there's no way that like the protein and fat and all that are equal to that ribeye that I ate yesterday. It's just not right. And so I think I just ended up getting frustrated and just putting it in as if it was a ribeye and calling it a day. Like, okay, I'm
track it consistently, whatever it says, basically, I guess.
I just didn't know what to make of that. But, I'm still putting it in. I just don't know. I personally don't know how accurate any of that is, or
it's never 100% accurate. I'll tell you that at least.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Totally. Alicia,
when I did keto, sorry.
No, go ahead, Mike.
It's the delay. I hate it. When I did keto the very first time, I was Googling because I had the same basic menu. There were a few things that I was moving around, but so I kept eating the same things over and over. And I just went to the internet and looked them up. And then I would track each meal and I would put my macros. It was actually kind of fun. I kind of really got into it. And that's how I did it. But I don't know if that's any more accurate going to the internet than going to an app. So I don't know.
Yeah. It depends on where they're getting it from,
Yeah.
So if it's USDA or whatever their source is. So
Alicia, I don't know if you're still here, Baroness of Beef, but we need to talk again, because the last time we talked, I hadn't gone into this like weight gain thing that I have going on. And you're one that I think of because I know you've said this in some of your videos. So weight gain happens for many in the early stages of carnivore, particularly if you come from a history of binging and restriction, which that was totally me, or being undernourished. I gained for a solid 6 months. So I know that you gained, but I would love to talk to you again about that whole time in your journey.
Yeah.
Because I'm experiencing that now. And, it's just nice to find other people that have been in the same boat. So email me, Alicia, if you're still here.
Have your people email Christy's people.
Yes, please. I love her. She's great, by the way. Check out her channel, Baroness of Beef. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Jay, I will tell you. So carnivore improves bone density. Heavier bones increase body weight, but that's a good thing. So I will say that according to my body impedance scale thing, my bones, if you look over like the last few months, my bones are slowly gaining in density, which is kind of cool.
That's great.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've made the point before that those scales are not necessarily accurate, but when you can track trends, and that's great.
Yeah, my bones are trending up for sure, which is cool. My muscle too, but my fat 3. Dang it.
Hate when that happens. Well, I don't look any better in the mirror, and that's what I hate for 6 months. But I know I'm not the only one, and I know Kelly Hogan, for example, when she came on the 24-hour live that they did, I mean, she talked about stalls, long stalls in her 3 years of losing weight. So maybe I should just shut up and buck up, Buttercup.
Yeah. I've decided I feel best. I mean, I'm still tracking it just to see what it is, but I do feel best when I eat to satiety. Like yesterday was a good day. Like I ate when I was hungry in the morning. I ate at 1 o'clock. I felt good. I tried to keep that little whatever voice in my head from saying, you're eating way too much. Just be quiet because I'm feeling good. Like you hush back there in the back of my brain. And then the whole rest of the day from 1 o'clock through bedtime, which was, I don't know, 9 or 9:30. Like I wasn't hungry the whole time. I wasn't wanting anything. You know what I'm saying? I felt good. So I feel like I just need to go with that and hopefully and keep working out. Right. And then the other pieces will fall in place. I think, I hope. That's why I want to talk to Alicia. Oh my gosh, I'm way back. Mike. See, Ellie agrees. We love our lions. How long ago was that?
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday by now. And then I've got 2 people asking me about the pancakes.
I didn't even see Deb. Where'd she come from?
Deb is here. She's
Hi,
Deb.
In. I missed her.
Yes. And so I've got like 3 questions about the pancakes. So I'm going to tell you. So the ingredients in the pancakes are the cream cheese. And I want to say it's like, I can't remember exactly always. The recipe is on my channel, you guys. I did a video, but it's like 4 ounces of cream cheese and then 4 eggs, or 2 ounces of cream
it's like
cheese
the same ratio.
It's like the same.
Yeah.
And then I think it's in that one though, I think it's 2 scoops of the Equip vanilla protein, I think. And then I think it's a tablespoon of gelatin powder. And then like can't remember if it's a quarter or half, I think a half teaspoon of baking powder. But when you use that Equip, you can't just use a spoon. Like I use my immersion blender. You have to have a blender or an immersion blender, something to really get that protein powder to blend in there.
It clumps up, especially in cold, right?
Yes.
It doesn't dissolve.
So I use that immersion blender, and then I do so to Ellie's point, I do not use stainless steel. I could try it on stainless steel. I do have a nonstick pan that it's like a ceramic coated pan, you know, that I use for those, but I cook it in butter, Ellie, like a lot of butter. So you could try it in your stainless steel. And then what happens is I don't butter them after. So you cook them in butter and it kind of soaks in the butter and they taste buttery. But it also keeps them from sticking. I mean, they're really good. They're bingeable though. Be careful, because I just don't eat them. I make them for him and give them to him.
I cook them on my cast iron skillet the same way that I do, same one that I use for my eggs. But yeah, it's like a lot of butter and then they don't stick. But I don't know I haven't used stainless steel in so long that I
think I have one stainless steel pan. I would have to give it a try. So the beef gelatin I got on Amazon. And I honestly did not even price compare. I just found one that was grass-fed beef gelatin and bought it. I probably got a more expensive one because I was just in a hurry trying to order it.
Let me ask you a question about the gelatin. If you went with like a Knox, like unflavored gelatin, I'm guessing that's beef gelatin too. I don't know. I never even really thought about that before. It's obviously not grass-fed, but
right. You know what's funny is I have heard people ask Anita that question, ketogenic woman, and I didn't but I've seen them ask it.
Yeah.
I don't think I hung around for the answer. I think one time she said it's not exactly the same because I don't really know. I wasn't listening because I already had my own grass-fed beef gelatin powder. But I have heard people ask that same question, Erin, but honestly, I don't know the answer. So,
but by now you probably have her phone number. You could just text her. I mean, you have that VIP access.
Help me out. I'm in the gelatin aisle at the grocery store.
That's right.
Knox gelatin. Can I use it?
Need any eggs while I'm here?
She's really great, you guys. She's so nice and helpful.
She's amazing. I really enjoy her.
Yeah.
She's so kind.
Yeah, she is. So, hi, Greg. How's everyone
Greg. I
doing?
miss
Hey,
him
Greg.
too.
It's your
people are
partner
Iowa in
in
the
crime,
house.
Erin. Your partner in low carb
Whoa.
lounge crime.
Where's Brian? Is the crew all here?
I don't know if Brian's
Us
here yet.
lounge. We got the lizards. Where's the people?
I was a
lounge?
lizard lounge a couple days ago when you guys were on.
Yep.
That was fun.
Thank you, Mike Shaw. I believe he's the one that coined that term.
I
was a
coined
good
the lizard phrase,
The
so
lizard-
I'll take
lizard
credit for that.
lounge.
And I missed last show. That's I was at the meeting where I was getting elected as co-chair, so that's what I have an excuse. I could write a note even. But yeah, I love your guys' show. It's fun.
It is
The
fun.
last one was good. The diabetes
The
one.
diabetes, the type 1
Yeah.
diabetic.
That was good.
I need that guy for my channel. I want to get him on. Okay,
Yeah,
so
he's got a
Ellie's
good story.
asking me when Zach's month anniversary will be. So we're just at 2 weeks. So today is the last day of week 2. So we're
Is it
halfway.
only 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's only 2
Oh my
weeks.
That's a lot of progress in 2 weeks.
Longer, but
Right? It's
That's great.
crazy. It's
it
crazy.
will- I feel like mentally, almost as soon as you change those things, it's think
So
about how
I
we
have
felt in the beginning. You know,
I have to
That's
record that
fast.
vlog for the end of week 2. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Like I said, I'm going to go to the grass-fed beef ranch today. Got a lot, and then I've got to get that video edited, and then I'm bringing home a steak, like a surprise steak box. You know, I got to unbox that and video that. So I got a
Yeah.
lot going on today, but
Yeah.
I'm
you
gonna
better
try
be
to
careful.
vlog
You don't know
that
what you're going to
too.
pull out of there.
It's gonna be steak. It's not gonna be organs. It's not gonna be bear meat.
It's not going to be
gonna be-
miscellaneous cow parts.
No,
No bear
It's
meat.
a
Dang it.
steak lover's box, clearly labeled steak. Now she knows I'm coming to interview her, and she knows I'm putting this on YouTube. So I'm wondering if she'll throw in a couple of extra good ribeyes for me. I don't know.
So does she watch the channel? Is she familiar with your favorite cut?
I don't think so. I
This could
don't
be a
think
box
so.
of picanha.
A box of picanha. Yes,
Yay.
let's do it.
box of
Picanha.
picanha.
Hey, forget about it.
Picanha. Yeah, I see it all the time now, and now I'm getting like Fogo de Chao ads on carnivore channels that I'm watching, and it's hilarious because she says picanha, and I'm like, oh, I hope they're putting these ads on my channel. I don't know if they are. I don't watch my own stuff.
Gotta love how that algorithm works.
It's hilarious. I'm
Manja,
like,
the
scary.
picanha.
she's talking about picanha and wanting more picanha. I'm like, this lady, I like her already. Oh my goodness. Jay's hilarious. My bones are trending up. Things only a carnivore.
That's good.
True
She had one
story,
about a
Jay.
teacher.
True
Things only
story.
teachers would say earlier.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to weigh 130, Ellie. I'm closer to 140 now. Like I said, I'm back up to where I was before I started keto. So she's asking, don't you weigh like 130? To me,
Well-
that seems like a great number. Even if you went up to 150, I don't see a problem. You are so lean and muscular. Thank you, Ellie. Yeah, I'm like 138 now, which is where I was a year ago. And I was like, I weigh way too much. I need to start keto to lose weight.
Ellie's such an encourager. And
she is.
And then what Ellie doesn't realize is that there was a 4.7 earthquake in LA yesterday, which has shifted some things, and gravity has actually gone up in your area. So I think that may be the problem.
That's why I was up 2 pounds this morning. Okay.
I think it's the earthquake kind of shifted some things. Gravity's increased.
Yes.
Not you.
I thought somebody asked about how things were going in California earlier, and I wanted to put that up, and I thought I started, but I guess I don't see it. But yeah, here it is. It was Charlie way back at the beginning.
4.7 quake. Those are fun.
Yeah, things are shaking. I didn't feel that one here, but like 2 weeks ago we had a 4.5, I think, just about 40 miles from here. So that was a good one. We got a good jolt out of that one.
It's only fun in the places where they're used to earthquakes. When that stuff happens around here, people go crazy.
You just kind of look around, like you can hear them coming first. You hear, at least at my house, you can. You hear them coming. It's all fast. Like it takes way too long to say, but your brain processes pretty quickly. So you hear it coming, then the shaking, and then you just kind of freeze and wait to see if you need to, like, is it going to go up?
Do you need to leave your house?
Or do you need to leave
Is it going to
your
keep going?
Or hide under your table?
Yes. Yes. So you kind of, and then that one was like 1 or 2 good shakes, and then it was gone. So we say, and then my boys came out and were like, "What was that?" I was like, "That was an earthquake." "Oh, we usually sleep through those." I'm like, "Yep, it's the California
rocking the baby to
cradle,
sleep.
just rocking the baby." So that was the first one that they
That's
remember feeling. But it was also flooding, so our roads were more potholes than roads lately. Some guy's property flooded, and so he had a pump going, and he created a sinkhole in the street because he rerouted the water from his house to the street. And it's like a major cross street that I have to go through to like get to work, and so I had to go around because they closed the road. I don't know if the city's gonna give that guy a make him pay a fine
Charge
or
him.
what. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Big expense. Wow.
Big expense. So
No
yeah,
doubt.
I think they've got a lot of that fixed now. I didn't let my older son go pick up my younger son from school because the roads were so bad and there was like all these new potholes, and he just has a little like Nissan Sentra, So I was like, I'll go ahead and pick up. I, the more experienced driver, will go and pick him up.
The best thing at the flooding was, I mean, it was a lot of rain over a couple and a half days, or maybe even a little more, but it never came down 2 inches an hour or anything terrible like that. So it was kind of best case scenario. There were some mudslides in Beverly Hills and, the hills of LA, and that did some property damage. But there wasn't a huge loss of life or even that much damage to property. So all in all, it went pretty well. And then that other system that dropped south behind it and lowered your snow levels like a lot. And that's really good news. The snowpack you guys are getting is just fantastic. That whole area, the Southwest, California, the Four Corners, all get fed by the Colorado River. Everyone takes water out of the Colorado, and all of the snowpack in that whole region is just gold. So ultimately, it's really good news.
Yeah, and there was one point where there was like no snowpack left, and the drought, and it was bad. But we've got a couple good, winters with some good snowpack building up. I can't wait to see Big Bear because I could see it from my house. But the other day, the clouds were still like in the way, and I was like, I want to see the snow. That's how I enjoy snow, Mike Shaw. From like I don't know how many miles
from a distance.
From a distance, Big Bear and Mount San Jacinto, the next door neighbor to Big Bear, which is like kind of between me and Palm Springs.
From a distance. Sounds good.
From a distance, those mountains look beautiful, covered with snow. I mean, I could get there in an hour and a half if I really wanted to, but I don't.
Well, you grew up you spent part of your years growing up in Julian, so you had snow to play in.
I had a couple snow experiences. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Been there, bought the t-shirt. And then Erin, I did an update this morning on the weather, so I know there's a storm heading Erin's way, but but Erin knows this from her local weather people. One that apparently dances.
I don't even watch it anymore because sometimes it's right and sometimes it's not. I just wait to see what happens.
Well, you know how it is. If the low goes 100 miles north, you get rain. If it goes 100 miles south, you get snow or nothing. So, but right now it looks like you're gonna. You got a good one coming. You haven't had much in what, 3 years?
Oh yeah, no. I think that probably the last time we had a lot of snow was when everything was locked down still. So it was a good year to have snow.
You guys are gonna laugh. So we got a math problem in our math curriculum, which comes out of New York. Like our math curriculum was written in New York. So Erin will appreciate this because you're a lot closer to New York than I am.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So there was this whole question about I don't know, whoever it was, the person had purchased so much salt and they had used this much salt to salt the driveway and this much salt on the sidewalk.
What does this mean?
And how much
were the kids like, what is this? What do you mean salt the driveway? So
I have to do a whole discussion on boys and girls and like, what does that mean? And why are they dumping salt on the sidewalk? I'm like, but in the long run, does that really matter? Because we get into that all the time. I'm like, on the test, nobody cares why. On the test, on the state test, nobody cares why they're putting salt on the driveway, people. He had some salt. He used some and he used some. How much is left? Right. Figure it out. Who cares? But they're kids. They're 10. So they're all hung up on.
Don't
I
even
used
get
to love
into
story
brining
problems.
of the
Yeah,
roadways, if you know what that means.
right.
They must
What
do that
about
by you, Mike, brining the roads. They do that before the
Yeah,
storms?
they
Yeah.
not a
do.
thing? Not a
Yeah,
thing.
they
Yeah.
do.
I
The
don't know
brine
what you
here is
mean.
insane. My car is going to be all rust by next year.
Ugh,
I can see
yeah.
why people don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love story problems in math, and my classmates not so much, but once you figure it out, it's not bad. There are key words, is equals, and I mean, there's just ways to put it into an equation and you're done.
Yeah, but Mike, with the new math, we're not supposed to teach them keywords. Haven't you heard?
I didn't know that. Really?
Really?
I didn't know that. That's craziness. So
Yeah.
how are they supposed to do it then?
There's several strategies that we're supposed to do, but keywords are not allowed.
Keywords are the key. It makes it
I
so
still
simple.
teach them keywords. We still
Good.
underline the word. If
Mhm.
there's a word that's a clue as to the operation that you need to perform, underline it,
Yes.
please. So yeah, I still
Yes.
do it, but I'm not supposed to. I'm flying in the face
Wow,
of
that's
all
crazy.
instructions given to me by the state of California and the school district office.
Good teachers like
no idea
you
what you're
and
talking
Jay
about.
are gold.
Jay, I don't know where Jay teaches, but Jay, you could back me up if you know anything about that. Anytime now, Jay.
I feel like he's around this part of the country. I think he's mentioned before. Pennsylvania.
Well, if he is, then they've adopted Common Core standards too. So he would know.
Core.
So he would know.
Isn't that Ezekiel Emanuel or no? There was another Chicago guy who came up with a lot of those Common Core standards during the previous administration, a couple administrations ago. Not good. It was not good.
I just remember I'm looking
nice.
at my daughter's homework going, okay, 2 steps. And I'm like, what do you mean you got to do 30 steps to get the same answer that I should?
Yep.
And I'm like, what? I mean, it did
hard.
make sense when you got into it, but I'm like, why would you go through all of that?
Right.
I just did not get it,
Yeah.
Sorry, can't help you with your homework. I don't know what they're doing now.
Yep. Yeah, I know. And that's
or
how
just
it
show
is.
them how to do it the right way.
The right way.
But they need to show the work doing the 85 steps on their test.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
It's ridiculous.
It's true.
I'm sorry. These kids are going to graduate high school and they're going to get a job in IT and they're going to get trained in their particular job and they're going to be great. And no one's going to care about Common Core math. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I have a good way to do it now, but of course, when it first came in, we weren't trained or anything, and there wasn't even a curriculum. So Common Core came in before the curriculum written for Common Core, but we had to do it. But there was no curriculum, so it's been fun. It's been a fun 10 years or so. So I have a shirt, Bruce, that says "I know I do." I have a shirt that I wear that says "I know I do math like a girl. Try to keep up." Yeah, it's the best shirt ever. It's the best shirt ever.
That's awesome.
I see a lot about that, the memes about the girl math and stuff now.
Yep. So that's like my favorite shirt. I wear it, but I wear it sparingly to work because there's the Pixel cameo. You knew it had to happen.
Yay. Pixel math.
She went. Yeah, I'm just worried that some other person is going to get offended because I'm not whatever. I don't know. So, you know,
I get it.
Only sometimes I can wear it because everyone's offended these days, but I like that shirt and I wear it sometimes because I like it.
I'm in Iowa. Iowa has become a safe space. It's not so weird here. We're in flyover country. It's great.
Flyover country.
From sea to shining sea.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think today, guys, that we agreed on about an hour and a half. I know Erin's got to get to her the rest of her life, and I
need to fix my daughter's phone.
Okay, that's fun. I have a ranch to get to, and I don't know what Mike's got going on, but he's been very busy, so he's probably very busy, Mike.
Yeah. Well, so I've been trying to get sick a little bit, and actually, it's carnivores don't stay sick. So I'm feeling better already today, but a lingering cough. But I do have some training on we have a county convention coming up a week from today, and I'm running the meeting. So there's a training from the state party that I'm attending coming up in an hour or so. So that's my next step.
All right. Well, do either of you have anything coming up on your channels that you want to shout out before we hop off?
Well, let's see.
Erin's turn.
The lounge this week will be semi-retired Bob.
Ooh, I love Bob. He's awesome.
And I think I'm going to do something with Nicole coming up in another week. And
cool.
There might be some other stuff. I usually forget. I got to look at the calendar.
Cool.
What about you, Mike?
Mike Shaw TV or Weather Mike, either one.
Or Weather Mike.
Yeah, the Weather Mike is where I've been putting my efforts, and I've done a forecast almost every day. And so that's kind of, it's kind of an experiment, you know, can I grow a brand new channel from January 1 to however big it might get by the end of the year. And I love weather so much. It's just kind of fun. So at the Weather Mike, check it out.
Awesome.
And then here I'll be goofing off as always.
We love goofing off with you. There's an interview that I have coming up in about, I don't know, 2 weeks, and I can't goof off. It's Zoe Harcombe, you guys.
Who's that?
Oh, go look her up. So go look up her best interview is with Dr. Chafee and talking about dispelling the myth of like fiber, cholesterol, and saturated fat.
Oh.
Go look her up. So her main gig that she does is she researches, she will read all the studies for you and then tell you why it's crap or good or whatever. Like she knows. She knows.
That's going to be great.
She's a PhD. She's a smart lady. I can't be messing around and putting people in
Wait,
detention and stuff on that
one. Who is this again? I missed when you said her name.
Zoe Harcombe.
Okay.
Are you doing live with her?
Yeah. I'm nervous.
Oh, good. I hope I can be in chat to goof off as always.
Do not goof off.
You'll make her more nervous.
Yes. I will kick you out. Zoe
He'll
Harcombe.
ask all sorts of wacky questions for you.
Do not do it.
Christy, she's a person like everyone else.
She does. You know,
you've interviewed a lot of. See, it's gonna be fine. You've interviewed some big names. You got this. Don't let Goofy Mike throw you off. It'll be great.
She's got a good sense of humor. Whenever she does her fiber talk, she definitely talks about, you know, the toilet talk definitely goes in there. It's pretty funny. And she puts that, like, even when she's talking at Low Carb USA or Low Carb whatever, you know, she still puts in the toilet humor and the toilet, you know, emojis and whatever in her presentation. So, but she's, I mean, she knows her stuff. She knows what she's talking about. She will even tell you, like, left to her own devices, she would be lean towards vegetarian, and she was vegetarian at one point, but like through her research, she's like, nope. And she's not carnivore, but she eats a ton of meat, and she feels like that's really what is best for people. And yeah, she's fantastic.
Does she do fruit?
I think she does do fruit, Mike, but here's how she does it. She has an apple tree, I think it's an apple tree, don't quote me, some kind of tree. And when the fruit's in season for those couple of weeks, she will eat some of those apples. She will not like the way she feels after eating all of those apples, but that's when she eats them, and not other times. That I've heard her say that on one of her. So go look up Zoe Harcombe, anything by her. She has her own channel, but there's not a ton on there. Just go look up her interviews or her like speeches at like the low carb conferences, like Low Carb Down Under. You know, like I said, the interview with Dr. Chafee was fantastic. She's coming on my little channel in just a couple weeks. I'm very excited and nervous.
You'll be great, Christy.
All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us for some coffee talk. Erin, I can't say it. You say it.
Thank you for having coffee with us. We'll talk to you next time.
There we go. That was awesome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Asta.